Come on in. Come on in and get situated. All right. Everybody get comfortable. I'm going to need you to get settled in because we're here for a good one. Hey, how you guys doing today? My name is Denarse and I am the host of the Mars Show. And today we got another delicious recipe. And the title of this recipe is $1,000,000 Parmesan pork chops with mashed potatoes and buttered broccoli. I hope everyone's having a good day out there. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. And I hope everyone continues to have a good day for the remainder of such. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. Let's
On the
go.
table and eat. So tonight I'm going to show you how to
Yes,
make a
indeed.
delicious $1,000,000 creamy garlic parm.
Before it slips my mind, let's go ahead and give Miss Tammy a nice, warm Mars Show welcome for sure. Nice and inviting. All right, and make sure that she got everything she needs to go ahead and deliver this nice, wonderful recipe. Miss Tammy, the floor is all yours. Let's
Pork
go.
chop recipe along with garlic buttered mashed potatoes alongside delicious garlic buttered broccoli. You know, once the
Yes.
phrase $1,000,000 is in front of the recipe, you already know we're coming to the table with nothing but elevated comfort. Let's get to cooking. First on
Let's
up,
go.
we have our bone-in pork chops today for this particular recipe. All right, if you want to use boneless pork chops, you definitely can. If you want to use thin pork chops, you can, but I would suggest you go after the meaty pork chops. All right, these are the thick cut pork chops. And what I'm going to do is, because I already know, since we're going to be searing our pork chops on high heat, they're going to curl up. All right, they're going to curl up. You've ever dealt with pepperoni? And when you fry the pepperoni or even hard salami, it just like literally bubbles in the middle. Now we can't have that happening.
Bubble up like fried bologna.
Tonight,
Let's go.
all right, like I said, elevated style. Okay, so we're going to get in there with our shears and we're going to place a slit on the pork chop, and that will help to keep it flat in the pan. All right, so I'm going to place a slit right here. The slit does not have to be perfect. All right, just enough so we don't have that
is there just do a job
curling up in the pan. Once we place it into the pan, we want it to lie flat into the pan. And is it going to like take away from the beauty of your pork chops? Definitely not.
It's gonna help. Definitely will help.
Okay, we should be good. All right, let's start off with adding some oil to our pork chops. I'm just gonna bring them in closer, so that way when I add the seasoning, I don't miss it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get more seasoning onto the baking pan than onto the pork chops. Let's start off with a drizzle of oil, light drizzle, of course. And this is going to help us to spread the seasoning onto the pork chops a lot easier. All right, take our hand, massage the oil into the pork chops. I'm going to flip it on over. Do the same thing on the other side. Of course, I would love for you to rinse off your pork chops. And once you're done, you're going to pat them dry.
Washing your protein does make a difference, as I showed you in our prior videos, for sure. Let's go. You can tell in the water that it comes off of there.
All right, we got both sides nice and lubricated. In this ramekin, right, we have garlic powder, onion powder. We also have chicken bouillon. We have parsley, Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt and ground black pepper. And we also have some smoked paprika. All right, we're going to mix everything together.
Nice and earthy, for
Make sure it's perfectly mixed in.
Nice blend.
Chicken bouillon has a little bit of chunky pieces in there. All right. And we're going to take our blend and we're going to sprinkle it onto the pork chops.
Okay. Nice and heavy. Nice heavy pour. All right.
We don't have a lot of salt-based seasonings in here, so we can add a good amount of seasoning. Not to mention, this is a thick cut of pork. Okay. Once we do that, we're going to get back in there. We're just going to pat the seasoning on into the pork chops, of course. Got a little section right here that's missing seasoning. Not today, baby. Every part of our pork chops is going to have seasoning. And your pork chops should really and truly look just like this. All right, this is what you call a perfectly seasoned pork chop, both front and back. Okay. And like I said, we did not add a lot of salt-based seasoning, so no worry whatsoever. Don't think it's going to be salty if you add a number of seasonings. The thing about it is, right, the real question is, what are you adding when it comes down to your seasonings? Are you adding a lot of salt-based stuff? Because obviously, if you're adding a lot of salt-based stuff, it's going to be salty. For more elevated flavor, let's add some of our Cooking with Tammy all-purpose chicken seasoning. This is definitely going to elevate the flavors. And we're also going to add some of our...
Go and support. Make sure you guys go on over to our website and pick up some seasonings and pick up whatever you may need for your next cook, without a doubt. Let's go.
Who's hungry? Go. Herbaceous all-purpose seasoning for a nice herbaceous flavor. All right, I'm going to flip it on over. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well.
Nice and tacky.
The amount of orders that came in for the Yo Who's Hungry and the all-purpose chicken seasoning, oh my goodness. I think everybody at this point should have it in their pantry or cabinet, somewhere in the kitchen. I'm telling you, because it's been so much seasonings going out. I'm telling you, thank you so much for all of the orders. Definitely appreciate it.
That's what's up, Miss Tammy. That's what's up.
I want you to enjoy great food all the time.
We appreciate you.
Not just sometime, but all the time.
We appreciate
Even if you don't feel like putting in the hard work, the great thing about the seasonings is the fact that you don't have to be a professional cook. You could be a novice cook and just add some of those seasonings and your food tastes like $1 million. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, down to the last porky chop. Place it on in here. Now, here's the thing. If you want to marinate these for a good, maybe I want to say 30 minutes to an hour, or even overnight, you definitely can. However, I'm going to get my frying pan. We're going to get it on hot heat. And like I said before, we're going to be searing our pork chops. But in the meanwhile, let's work on adding our potatoes to our boiling water. So our boiling water, we're going to add...
Let's go. Skipping right
along.
A small
amount of salt. Well, enough salt, if you will. We're also going to add some chicken bouillon. Small amount of chicken bouillon. That is a small amount. All right, we're going to add our potatoes to the water, and we're going to cook our potatoes for about 20 minutes or until they're fork tender. In order to make our garlic butter broccoli, I'm going to start off with a little bit of avocado oil. We're also going to add some butter. All right, I want a nice buttery flavor going on, so therefore I'm going to add a decent amount of butter. Don't worry about that little speckle. That's Italian garlic and herb seasoning, but that's okay. Let's add a good amount of garlic. All right. Make it nice and garlicky. Stir it up really good. Let's allow those garlic flavors to be released from the garlic, of course. Add a little bit of parsley. Not really necessary, since we're going to be adding green anyway, which is going to be our broccoli, right? But the parsley is going to give it a nice hint of extra added flavor. All right. Let's add our broccoli florets to the butter sauce.
Nice, beautiful green. Perfectly cut. Okay.
Our medium-sized pan is just perfect to accommodate the broccoli pieces. But here's the thing, right? Once the broccoli is cooked, it's going to shrink down slightly. Not as much as when you're cooking spinach or collard greens, but it's still going to shrink. Let's make sure we get some of that butter in the head of the broccoli right here.
Absolutely.
Come on, little broccoli. Stand up in the butter.
Get on in there.
All right. We're going to season our broccoli because we can't rock out with bland broccoli. All right. So in order to do that, we're going to add a small pinch of salt and ground black pepper. You can always go back and add later, so don't add too much. All right. And to take it a step further, let's add some of our Yo Who's Hungry, which is our herbaceous and all-purpose blends as well. Stir that on in. As you can see, the broccoli is starting to turn bright green. And at that point in time, that just means that the broccoli is almost cooked through. And that's about it. Just going to keep tossing the broccoli in the butter sauce.
For sure.
We want the broccoli to pick up on all of those beautiful flavors.
Because it's adhering perfectly, without a doubt.
All right, family, let's mash some potatoes. I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of butter.
Okay, let's go.
That should be perfect. We're also going to add some cream cheese because I want the mashed potatoes to be nice and decadent. When it comes to making mashed potatoes, you want to make sure you add all of the ingredients that needs to be melted while the potatoes are hot. As you can see, the butter wasted no time melting along with the cream cheese. Once we get our potatoes mashed to the desired texture, we don't have to break it up too much. Sometimes you kind of want that little lumpy mashed potato, if you will, right? You want it to be a little bit more on the rustic side. There's other times where you want it to be.
Can we give it up for Miss Tammy making these mashed potatoes from scratch? For sure, because it tastes definitely better. You tell as soon as you sit down and take a taste, for sure. Let's go. I'm
totally
sorry.
Smooth,
I just had
to perfection.
I had to. I'm a big fan.
Whipped.
Big fan
okay. Now. And there's other times where you want to, you enjoy those little lumpy bits. Let's add some Parmesan cheese as well for a nice nutty addition. Gonna clean this off, bring everything to the middle.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna add just a small amount of heavy cream for that extra indulgence of cream flavor. Let's add some garlic powder.
Creamy.
To finish things off, let's add a little bit of salt. Going with the light hand because you can always add additional salt. And let's add some ground black pepper.
Okay.
Stir it in. Okay, give it a quick taste. Make sure it's where you want it to be, right? As far as the flavor.
Let's go.
And that's it. We're going to put this to the side and we're going to work on our pork chops. We're going to add some oil to the pan.
Let's go. Let's go.
Make sure the pan is perfectly lubricated. All right. Once the oil comes up to temperature. Yes, I know. I know you're probably like, wait a minute. Are we not going to dredge our pork chops? No, we're not going to dredge our pork chops this time around simply because we want a nice golden brown pork chop. Not saying that when you add dredge or flour to it, you're not going to get that nice golden brown pork chop. However, we don't want to bog down the pork chop with a bunch of flour, not to mention when it comes down to our delicious Parmesan sauce, okay? Trust me on this. We're going to add our pork chops to the hot oil, obviously. All right, this pan could fit about 3, which is perfect.
For sure.
All right, we're going to fry the last one up once these come out.
Okay.
But in the meanwhile, we're going to cook them for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Once we're done, we're going to flip them over, obviously. Cook them for the same amount of time on the other side as well. Just in case you're wondering, I'm cooking on medium-high heat. And the other thing is this. You want to make sure that your pork chops reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit after fully cooking, all right? I want to make sure I mention it in this part, just in case I forget to mention it after we create the sauce. 145 Fahrenheit internal temp in the thickest part of the meat. We're going to flip them over.
Yeah. Yes.
They're laying flat against the surface of the pan, which is perfect. Take a look at that beauty. This is golden brown and beautiful, and this is what we were going for. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sear up the last pork chop, and once we're done, we're going to put our delicious cream Parmesan sauce together. Creamy garlic parm sauce, here we come. Butter to pan. All right, we're going to be using the same pan, of course, in order to get all of those locked in flavors. We're going to add a ton of garlic, hence the name garlic parm sauce.
Absolutely. It's in the name, huh?
I'm using pre-chopped garlic. However, all we need is about 8 garlic cloves chopped up into nice fine bits. And that's it. We're going to combine the garlic. We're going to cook down the garlic for about a couple seconds. I'm not going to say 30 seconds at this point in time because the cast iron skillet is extremely hot. Once the butter becomes fragrant, not the butter, but the garlic. Once the garlic becomes fragrant, which it is, we're going to add our flour. Keep stirring. Allow the flour to cook and toast. All right. Once you start to get that nice little bubble action going on.
Beautiful roux. Beautiful color.
Your flour is perfectly cooked. Let's add some heavy cream. Stir that on in as well.
Yeah, that's
all right.
And
we're going to season in a second. All right. The bottom of the pan is starting to become nice and smooth. Let's add some chicken broth to the mix.
Perfect simmer.
Combine that as well. Turn the flame down. Let's add some garlic powder, different flavor profile. Let's add some smoked paprika for a nice little smoky element of flavor. All right, we're going to add some parsley. You know what? I have some fresh parsley. Let's add some fresh parsley. Let's put the dry stuff back today, all right? But if you have dried parsley, feel free to use your dried parsley. We're going to add some onion powder. Italian seasoning. Get yourself a nice herbaceous blend of Italian seasoning. I'm talking about with all of the herbs.
Facts.
The oregano, the basil, the everything. Last but not least. Well, you know what? No, I got some more stuff to go into this pan, all right? We're going to make a souped up sauce.
Let's go.
Let's add some Dijon mustard.
Oh, nice touch.
Stir that on in. And let's add some Parmesan cheese. It's going to give it a nice nutty flavor. It's going to definitely enhance the flavor of the sauce. We're going to continue stirring it. We're going to give it a quick taste. Make sure, obviously the sauce tastes really good. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to thin the sauce out slightly. Let's add some cream cheese, about 2 tablespoons of cream cheese for decadency.
Definitely.
Stir that on in as well. Look at the color of the sauce, right? We didn't have to add any color enhancers, any browning sauce, kitchen bouquet, none of that stuff. Let's add our pork chops to the sauce. Hopefully at this point we could fit all 4.
How does that not make you happy? You know what I mean? How does that not bring a smile to your face? For sure. Definitely. It makes my day.
Because I don't think it's going to fit, right? So we're just going to place it on top. We're going to add all of the resting juices back to the pan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to cover it down. We're going to cook our pork chops for about 8 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
On low heat, because we want it to come to a slow simmer. Look at our beautiful dinner, how everything turned out. We have our garlic buttered broccoli. We also have our creamy, delicious Parmesan style pork chops, along with our perfectly mashed Parmesan creamy mashed potatoes. Let's eat, family. Let's eat. Good. Look at our beautiful cheese pull from our Parmesan cheese. We're going to plate right here on this platter.
Mashed potatoes. Whipped. Mm-hmm. Cheesy. Come on, man. Come on.
Good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Show out there, Miss Tammy. It's cool. Just show out. Yeah. I'm done. I quit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I'm done. With the gravy on top. Yes.
And it's time for us to say grace and dig in.
Definitely. And
all right, we're going to cut into our beautiful. Oh, this is so tender. I don't even need the knife.
Yeah, right? I was going to say that knife fell through there.
All right, I want the perfect size. Let's get some mashed potato. And I'm going to come back for the broccoli in a second.
All right, let us know. Mm-hmm. Look at that plate.
We've done it again.
Gorgeous plate.
Sunday dinner is officially served.
How's the broccoli? Yeah.
Everything has phenomenal flavors. There's no other way to say it. Everything has phenomenal flavors, even up to the broccoli. And you know most people don't even like veggies, right? But even up to the broccoli is perfectly seasoned. I got to be honest with you, right? The creamy Parmesan pork chops, absolutely out of this world amazing. Don't get me wrong, smothered pork chops are everything. But when it comes down to this style of cooking the pork chops, it's delicious. It definitely gives a smothered pork chop a run for its money. Maybe this is even better than a smothered pork chop, right? Give it a try. Let me know what you think, because I'm really feeling, or better yet, I'm really thinking that it is. Give this recipe a try. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to get your seasonings, cookingwithtammy.shop. A lot of this deliciousness cannot be done without the perfect seasonings. These seasonings are not only for in-between cooks, professional cooks, and chefs, but novice cooks as well. People that don't cook, don't even like the kitchen, add some of your Cooking with Tammy seasoning onto whatever it is that you're making, and you are going to fall in love with your food, if not cooking. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Definitely enjoy Sunday dinner. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Can we give our good friend, Miss Tammy, another round of applause? For sure. Absolutely. Another knock-up job, another bang-up job, another awesome recipe. And she just walked us right on through the recipe with kid gloves, for sure. Without a doubt. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys got a little entertainment. If not, give me a shot next time and I'll see what I can do. All right, you guys be good out there. Later.